The frequently asked questions that I get when I phone people about the forest bathing are, do I need my swimsuit? No, you don't. Am I going to be forced to hug a tree? Absolutely not. Right, forest bathing, or Shinrin-yoku, is the Japanese practice of spending time immersed in nature. So it involves using all of your senses and slowing down, being present. So being present is really important. And in our busy lives, sometimes we're rushing from one place to the next, and we spend a lot of our time indoors. So it's getting back to a more natural state for us, which is being out in the natural world. And that can have really healing benefits and really good restorative effects as well. So there's a lot of evidence that looks at those benefits. And they can include things like attention restoration, so it can slow you down. It's almost like a screensaver for your brain, where you can look at the green and it slows you down. It brings you into the present moment. The other benefits are physiological. So there's huge research now on blood pressure and how it can moderate your blood pressure. So if it's high, it can bring it down. If it's low, it can bring it to where it should be. Your blood sugar, so that's a really positive one. It's also been shown recently to improve your natural killer cells, which are anti-cancer proteins. So there are huge physiological benefits. There are brilliant well-being benefits to it. So spending time in nature is great for stress reduction. It improves your mood, reduces depression. So overall, spending time in nature is something that everybody should be doing, and not a lot of people know how to do in that very mindful way where you slow down. So forest bathing is about me as a guide teaching people how to put the phone away, how to not be thinking about their shopping list, and just really immerse themselves in that experience and spend that time in nature quietly. So ordinarily, when forest bathing is done, it can take 2 to 3 hours, and that can be out in the woods in the middle of nowhere. And what I'm looking at is bringing forest bathing into a setting like Treetops, which has wonderful grounds, but it is really accessible for people. So for those people that potentially don't want to spend time alone in the woods, they're fearful, the ground is a bit unsteady, those kinds of things, it removes those barriers and allows people to access forest bathing for 45 minutes to an hour and really dip the toe in the water, see if they like it, work out if I'm going to make them wear a swimsuit and hug a tree and all of that stuff, which I'm not, and just gives them a little taste of it. And it also teaches people some of the things that they can then take away and do at home themselves. So it might be that they then sit quietly in the morning and listen to the birds for 10 minutes, and that can really bring some of those benefits to their daily lives. So my research is looking at how forest bathing can be adapted so that it is truly accessible for all kinds of different people, and how that can be brought into a hospice environment. So ordinarily people spend a long time in the woods forest bathing. For people that are accessing hospice services, it might be that they have fatigue issues, there might be physical constraints, them going on rough terrain, or they might be worried about going out in the woods by themselves. So it's bringing something that is a really well documented and evidence practice into a smaller scale, more manageable package for people that are accessing hospice services. So what I'm looking to measure in my research is, can we get all of those amazing, well-documented benefits of forest bathing in a 45-minute session in a setting like Treetops? And I'm hoping that what that will do is allow other hospices to start to bring forest bathing in as part of their therapeutic practice, as something that they can use as one of the tools in their toolkits to support people. So what it means to me personally and what it means to the research is that it brings a practice that hopefully will improve people's well-being into this setting. So what's really interesting about this research is that the population and the demographic that we're working with is very pioneering. So there's been no research whatsoever on people using palliative care settings or hospice settings doing forest bathing. And it's very rarely done on anyone other than your kind of general population. So it's really new, it's really groundbreaking. I'm very grateful to Treetops for actually taking a chance to go, yeah, I'm really excited about partnering on this research. And we did a little pilot project a couple of years ago, and I think that it demonstrated that those people that took part and the feedback that they gave was that they really enjoyed it and they got something out of it. So I'm hoping that this will be something that we can then put together in a guide for other hospices around how you can either use some of the nature connection techniques or how you can get a forest bathing guide like me to come in and do sessions and how that can help people. Is that forest bathing is about the quality of being in that present moment. So a lot of what we do can be done in your own back garden, essentially. So some of the activities that we do, for example, we will sit with our eyes closed on the benches round the woodland walk, listening to the birds and just spending 5 minutes doing that. And if there's traffic noise in the background, people zone it out. After 5 minutes, your brain sort of naturally tunes into nature and you zone that bit out and it helps you to relax. And Treetops has got some incredibly diverse ecosystems around. Considering it's such a small space, it's got a woodland walk with trees, it's got a pond, it's got a meadow, it's got curated gardens, so we spend a lot of time in the wellbeing gardens, listening to the water, smelling the roses. So there are all sorts of different environments within this space that we can use, and it's very accessible. So I do sessions with people that have limited mobility or are in wheelchairs, and actually we can access most of the grounds very comfortably for people in a relaxed way. And that's very important, because if you're asking people to relax and be present, you need them to not be worried if they're going to wobble off a path or if if their wheelchair's going to steer in the wrong direction. So it's perfectly set up for this kind of thing, and the feedback so far has been that people have really enjoyed it and they want more of it. So the frequently asked questions that I get when I phone people about the forest bathing are, do I need my swimsuit? No, you don't. Am I going to be forced to hug a tree? Absolutely not. What you can expect when you come to the session is that we'll do a body scan to start with. So we slow down and do a little bit of breathing, similar to what you would do in a yoga session. And then I will invite you to do different activities, moving around the grounds. And the pace is deliberately very, very slow. So don't worry if you can't walk far, if you can't walk fast, if you can't walk at all. We can work with whoever we've got on the day and whatever conditions we've got on the day. And the other thing to be aware of is that you're not forced to do anything. So if I ask you to do an activity and you think, I really don't feel comfortable doing that, or I don't want to do it, you can just sit on a bench and watch the trees for a minute. So it's all very much guided by you and what you want to do and by what is in nature on the day. So on days where we, for example, have had dragonfly larvae hatching in the pond, we spent a good amount of time watching that happen. So nature really is the therapist and the guide, and I'm just there to say, here's some activities that you can do if you would like to do them, and people can engage in whatever way feels most comfortable for them. So you're not going to be forced to do anything that you don't want to do, and you definitely won't have to wear a swimsuit.
Amazing. To me, how